Good evening. My name is Emil Niang. I'm a criminal justice major, and my audience will be David Niang and Astara Williams. Today, I'll be demonstrating how to properly fade hair. Before I start, I'm a credible source for this demonstration because I've been cutting hair for the last 3 years, and I'm the barber on campus, and I also have my barber's license. So I'm not new to this skill. So when first cutting hair, I will first and foremost sanitize the clippers to prevent lice or any bacteria going on the client's head. This should be a quick 2 seconds before you start any haircut. Then after sanitation, I will even my client's hair out. And just a quick disclaimer, cutting hair usually takes around 40 to 30 minutes, so I'll try to sum it all up into 5 to give you the concept of how to fade hair. I will even his hair out by brushing all the hairs down so all the hairs are going in one motion, one direction. I'm brushing all the hairs down so all the hairs are going in one direction, making the process and the fade much more nicer. Today, when I fade my client's hair based on the length of his hair, if you want to come closer, based on the length of my client's hair, I'll be fading my client with these three guards. I'll be using the 0 guard, which is the open clipper. I'll be using the 1/2, the 1, and the 0.5 guard. So just like a ladder, I will start from the top and go to the bottom. So I will start with my biggest guard, which is my 1.5, and I'll work my way down. But before I do that, I will make a guideline, because when fading hair, depending on the haircut, which my client wants a mid-fade, depending on the haircut, when cutting hair, you must always start with the guideline. So I will set my guideline midway. The purpose of my guideline is to have a starting point, wherein to start, which will help the overall cut. Now that I've set a guideline, I can go ahead and even my client's hair up with the highest clip. I'll speed the process up so you won't have to sit and watch the whole process. When I'm cutting hair, you also have to flick your wrist in a flicking motion to ensure that each grain of hair is being touched. So I'm flicking to make sure all the hairs are being touched. And pull the skin back to grab each follicle of hair. When fading hair also, you want to flick and pull the skin. Also, while evening out the hair, you also want to brush the hairs down to make sure that all the hairs are going in one direction to ensure that you're getting the even amount of fade. Now that I've evened out all the hair, I will start with my first guideline. My second guideline, which is the open clip, the 0 guard. And I'll work my way up. I will place my 0 guard right at my first guideline. The first guideline is to show a visual point where I'll start. So I'll go 1 inch up, 1 inch as in like half a fingernail up from where I started. With a flicking motion, always remember to flick and brush down to make sure that all the hair is even. Now that I've made my first guideline, if you can see, I will make my second guideline with the 1 clip. I will make my second guideline at this point. I will make my second guideline at this point right here in the hair, and I'll go up and make the second guideline. I'm going to brush the hair back down to ensure that all the hair is even and leveled. And I'll end going for my second guideline. Always flick the wrist That's one thing people always forget to do is brush the hair and flick the wrist. So ensure you're doing those few steps because it makes a big difference at the end. So now that I've made my second guideline, I will close the guard and remove the guidelines. I'll brush down. I've closed the guard all the way, and now I'll go in and remove the guidelines. Come close. I'll remove this guideline with the 1, and I'll use the 0 close to remove the bottom line. Stay close. And you brush the hair back down to ensure all the hairs are all even. I'll keep flicking my wrist. And that is how you properly fade hair. I will cut the clip to show the ending result, but in conclusion, there are small steps in which to fade hair, and it's all easy when you follow all these steps. Thank you.